This book takes place a year after book 2, which is kind of a bummer. That means the book doesn't directly follow up with Sam and the Wolfman stuff. Because it's been too long, there's no reason for anyone to talk about it anymore.
Arglefump Book Review, Arglefump Book Review.
Things kick off when Darren meets a new vampire, Gavner Pohl. He's a vampire general, which means he monitors other vampires, makes sure they're not causing any problems. Mr. Crepsley used to be high up in the vampire organization, and he was about to be ordained a vampire prince when he quit to join the circus. Sounds like a bad deal to me. Gavner and Crepsley meet in private. After this, Crepsley says he's got to leave on a secret mission. He brings Darren and Evra along with him. They all stay in a hotel. The boys do whatever they want all day long while Crepsley sleeps. At night, Crepsley leaves to do his secret vampire stuff. Darren goes Christmas shopping, where he meets a dark-skinned girl named Debbie. She's seen him around town recently. He's a little hard to miss because he dresses like a pirate. That's because Darren only has one set of clothes. Maybe he should ask for a second pair of clothes for Christmas. Debbie's full name is Debbie Hemlock. She's somewhat flirty, and she strong-arms Darren into taking her to the movies tomorrow. It'll be Darren's first date ever. Wow. When I was a teenager, no girl ever asked me to date her. Maybe it's because I didn't dress up like a pirate. The date goes well. Darren meets Debbie's parents after the movie, and Debbie asks for a goodnight kiss. Darren's taken by surprise, and she tells him to forget it. Darren realizes he made a mistake, so he climbs up to her second-story window using his vampire powers. That impresses Debbie enough, she agrees to kiss him twice. This romance story is interrupted by vampire drama. There's a news report that says 6 people were killed and drained of blood. Evra and Darren are pretty sure Mr. Crepsley is the serial killer. Instead of talking to him about it, they decide to follow Mr. Crepsley at night, when he leaves on his secret mission. Crepsley's nighttime travels are erratic until he narrows in on one fat man who works at a slaughterhouse. Crepsley stalks this man every single night. About halfway through the book, we get to the scene which is depicted in the prologue. Mr. Crepsley lunges at the unsuspecting human. Darren attacks Mr. Crepsley with a dagger. They are interrupted by a giant purple-red monster man. Mr. Crepsley takes a moment to explain what's going on. He was born in this city, so he feels a certain duty to protect it. The city is under attack by the purple guy, whose name is Murlough. He's a vampeneze, which is a splinter group of vampires. They always kill their victims. Maybe they're trapeze artists. Vampeneze, it sounds like they're trapeze artists. The vampeneze and vampires have a long-standing truce. Gavner can't attack Murlough directly without violating the truce and starting a war. That's why he got Mr. Crepsley involved. Crepsley's been hunting Murlough this whole time. Murlough kidnaps Evra. He returns the next day to taunt Darren. Murlough's intimidating and half-mad. He likes to repeat himself, make puns, and talk about how smart he is. Murlough promises to kill Evra on Christmas, and he makes suggestive comments about Debbie. Mr. Crepsley and Darren search for Murlough in some underground tunnels. It's not a good plan to wander at random and hope to find the villain's lair. Darren comes up with a much better plan, which hinges on the fact that Murlough's overly interested in drinking Debbie's blood. Darren goes to Debbie's house for Christmas Eve. They have a lot of fun, and they all take a sip of wine. The book immediately cuts away to a different scene hours later. Darren and Mr. Crepsley are searching the tunnels again. They get into a loud fight, where Darren breaks the flashlight, he stumbles around in the dark by himself for a while, and he's captured by Murlough. Murlough wants to kill Darren and Evra. He takes a moment to say, the underground network is the heart of the city. So they are tunnels of blood. That would be a good name for a horror book. Darren points out that Murlough can't kill him without starting a war. He offers to let Murlough kill Debbie in exchange for setting Evra free. Murlough accepts this offer. They go to Debbie's house. Murlough prepares to kill Debbie, but it's a trap. Mr. Crepsley jumps out and kills Murlough in a gruesome way. That's why Darren gave the family wine. He purposely drugged them so he could get them out of the way during the murder scene. Now the threat is over, and hopefully no one will find out they killed Murlough, or the vampeneze will certainly hunt them down without mercy. The end. Post-book follow-up. This book doesn't have much of the Cirque Du Freak in it, huh? I read a first printing of the book, and the publishers seemed to waver between calling the series Cirque Du Freak and Saga of Darren Shan. I'm going to keep calling it Cirque Du Freak because that is a shorter title, and YouTube has limited title space on videos. I thought the book was a good continuation of the series as it goes more into vampire lore. Darren is now comfortable with being a half vampire. I like Debbie just fine, but the people who dislike this book are pretty merciless in their criticisms of Debbie. I guess some people really hate the idea of any romance being in a teenage vampire series. This book is not as scary as the other ones. The other books tended to have a cliffhanger at the end of every chapter. This one does not. The scares don't really start until halfway through when Murlough's introduced. I was a little surprised that was halfway through. Like the other books, it has good pacing. It feels like a lot more happens than what actually does happen. If you like the other two books, I'm pretty confident you'll like this one. It looks like the rest of the series will go heavy into vampire territory, as opposed to following the circus. That could be an interesting way to go. I'm going to keep reading. I give Cirque Du Freak number 3, Tunnels of Blood, an 8 out of 10.